like if he is not wanting something serious, or he's not ready for it, you know, if he's working on his career and he's not willing or ready to make someone a priority, I don't know, like he should know what he wants, right? And if he doesn't know what he wants or what he's really ready for, then it's time for Victoria to say bye. Okay, so in Bachelor in Paradise, we have to dive into this, and it doesn't matter if you don't even see it, you don't watch it, you don't care. What happened on that show is something that I know that we all do, and I've done it for years, and it's a huge problem. Okay, so this is 100% a guilty pleasure of mine, watching reality TV. And I love that I get to watch it now, and then I can use it as an excuse to talk about it on my podcast. But seriously, on Bachelor in Paradise, you have a character, a person. It's a real people, right? Victoria. And she's lovely and she's wonderful. I really like her. And she connects with a guy, Johnny. Now, look, this is what is so important in this episode that I want you to take away from, okay? That you can go into life. And you don't have to be, on Bachelor in Paradise, everybody goes with the intention of, oh yeah, I'm going to find love. I'm looking for love, right? But what I'm about to tell you are things that you can just go and take with anyone that you're meeting in your life, okay? Keep that in mind. When I met my husband, I wasn't like looking for him. Do you know what I mean? You have to have it in mind that the universe wants you to meet your person. And so you have to understand, have it clear in your head of what you're really wanting and how to get it. So Victoria had it in her mind in the show. She talks about what she really wants. And she told Johnny that, hey, I have a checklist. And, this other guy, Alex, really meets everything on the checklist. And, she was worried that Johnny doesn't. And so Johnny was like, well, what kind of things are on your checklist? Like, what's this about? I don't like it. Like, he got really upset right away about it. Okay, so step one, like, let me recommend, okay? Don't tell a guy that you have a checklist. Like, that's just not necessary. Like, I had a checklist, but I didn't tell my husband until later. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can mention it later, like once you know that you have a solid connection. But I feel like telling someone, oh yeah, I have a checklist. Here are my things that I need. Like a guy could actually be deceitful and say they're this, and that. Or they get defensive like Johnny did. So Victoria says, poor thing, I have a checklist. Johnny's like, I don't like it. Like, what are some things? And she's like, well, I want to get married and I want to have kids. And Johnny's like, well, I don't know. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Like, this is what I'm talking about, you guys. No, like having goals, having clear goals and knowing what you want in your life and going into a conversation with people, with a person, right? Before you start making out with them, because that's what happened. Victoria was making out with Johnny and then started to have these real conversations. Okay. So that's what's going wrong. When you start to physically hook up with someone and like even a kiss, and I had that, you guys have probably heard that episode. I hope so. And if you haven't, you make sure you do, where any kind of affection like that really gets you more attached to someone. Okay. And if you're more attached, you're not thinking clearly. Have you ever been in that situation where you're like, oh my gosh, wait a second. He's not, something's wrong. I don't know if I like him. I don't know if I do. Like, I want to see him, but he's totally not right for me. And like, you're back and forth about it. It would be so much easier to walk away from that if you took your time, okay? Took your time. You have it clear of what you want. You know your goals. And when you're talking to someone, actually share where you're at in your journey. Okay, I am 30 years old. I am killing it in my career. I'm like, I can totally see myself as a mom. I don't know. What do you, how do you feel like? Where do you see yourself? Like, what's happening on your journey? And see what they say. Oh, they might, if they start to get, wait a second, what are you talking about? Marriage and kids, like that's crazy. Okay, bye. It's bye time. Because that means that they're not on the same page. They're way, like that shouldn't be a scary conversation. Do you know what I mean? And it won't be a scary conversation with the right person. Johnny didn't want to talk about these things. He literally said, if you watch the episode, it's so funny. I honestly like recorded it and I put it on my Instagram at the Jackie Lore. You guys have to see it if you don't follow it. But it was like, he goes, oh, wait a second, check boxes. We shouldn't talk about those kind of things. First is love, and then we figure it out. And I'm like, wait, no, Johnny, that's not what happens. Like, wait a second. It's first, and then not only that, what's absolutely even more bananas is that he told Victoria, and Victoria's like, oh, yeah, so sweet. No, it's not, Victoria. It's not sweet. Like, wait, what? I feel like she doesn't realize that she has so much more power and control of a situation. As you see the episode unfold, she starts to get very like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And so much confusion. And I know she wouldn't have been that confused if she had these conversations before she started making out with him and sleeping like nap time with him. I don't know if they had sex or not, but all I do know, what was shown is that they were kissing and making out. And that's already enough. Okay, a kiss 100,000,000% will get you attached to someone. Okay, so when she has this conversation with him about, where is he at? Is he thinking about marriage and kids? He never even answers the question. He's kind of like, oh, well, like, let's just see what happens. Like, first comes love, then comes marriage, I guess, and then comes the baby and the whatever. there's like a stupid song, like, when you hear your kid. I have no idea what. I just feel like, what are we doing here, Johnny? And what's worse, Johnny's not even in the wrong. Like, this is something that I need you guys to understand, okay? Johnny, there's nothing wrong with him at all. He's a really great guy, and he's like from South Florida. I'm from Miami, and he's like from Palm Beach. Like 100%. He's a cool guy. But like, if he is not wanting something serious, or he's not ready for it, if he's working on his career and he's not willing or ready to make someone a priority, I don't know, like, he should know what he wants, right? And if he doesn't know what he wants or what he's really ready for, then it's time for Victoria to say bye, right? But Victoria doesn't say bye. So, sorry, spoiler alert, okay? But you know what? Let me tell you about spoilers, okay? I don't even believe that. Like, I know, I hate when people ruin things for me, but at the end of the day, you will still watch the show and still, like, love it. Like, you'll still get so much out of it, even if I tell you what happens, It's kind of like Titanic. Like, everybody knows that boat sinks, but, like, you still watch the movie and still love it, right? So, like, either way, I feel like, okay, I'll tell you just in case, spoiler alert, she does end up picking Johnny, even though Johnny has yet to really answer the questions of, hey, what is it that you're ready for in your life? And then they end up having another date together and like saying they're falling in love with each other. So here we go, Victoria. This is something that I hope I'm wrong about this part, but I'm honestly, I just feel like I'm seeing myself years ago. Like this is something that I used to do. And 100,000,000%, please, I need to hear from you right now. Like, are you like, oh my gosh, I've done the same thing where you've dated a guy, they tell you, okay, yeah, I'm not really there. I'm not really ready for that. Oh my gosh. Or there's some red flags. And you're like, okay, and I love you. Like, you don't say, okay, wait a second. I am here. I want this in my life. They don't want that. And then you end up like, okay, well, let's just keep moving forward. Have you ever done that? I know you're saying yes. I can just feel it. Yes, you are. And like, this is exactly where you need to stop the madness. Like, stop the pattern. Stop it, because you will never get a different result, right? If you keep doing that, you have to call yourself out. You have to be able to take a step back and say, wait a second. He just told me who he is. He told me what he wants. And you have to be fearless. And I've talked about this, and I'm going to keep saying it, because when you have something that you need to hear, you can never hear it enough. Kathy Heller said that, and I absolutely loved it. I was like, yes, it's so true. Because for years, you've been hearing, play the game, don't scare them away, don't talk about the real shit, right? So then you go out and you're like barely talking about real shit. You're talking about surface level stuff. And then next thing you know, a year later, 2 years later, go, oh, maybe I should talk to him about having kids. And oh, wait, he doesn't want them. And oh, shit, here I am in my 30s and things are getting harder and I have to start over. And what happens now? So I am trying to empower the shit out of you, right? Like, you have that power within and make you realize it. And to believe, like, this is the hardest, I think. This is the hardest part, is to believe that it actually exists, that person, that you're going to meet someone that you can have these conversations with, and they're going to say, oh my gosh, yes, I'm over the casual dating. I'm exhausted with that. I really want something of substance. I want to share my life with someone. Like, they are on the same journey, very similar to yours, and same goals, same values. Wouldn't that be amazing and refreshing? But like, the question is, do you believe that exists? Like, you have to really believe it, because if you don't, then I bet you're staying wherever you are. You know what I mean? Like, your conversations that you're having with people, to have these open and vulnerable, conversations, you have to really be, oh, look at this. I'm wearing a shirt that says courage on it. You have to have that courage, right? And Victoria had the courage to talk to Johnny about it, but it was after she made out with him. So, okay, what are you going to take away from this episode? Okay, guys, this is going to be a short and sweet, because I need you guys to have action steps, okay? Step 1, make that checklist, right? Step 2, make sure when you're connecting and talking to people, don't make out with them before you actually go through the things that you want, and see where they're at, and see if you guys are on the same freaking page, right? Don't let them, or don't just you go for it. Oh my God, this feels so nice. Like, he wants to kiss me. Like, that's your ego talking, right? Oh, this feels so nice. If you are really serious about finding your person to share your life with, then let your ego stay in the back seat, right? And you're the driver of the car, and you're like, I want to find my person, my partner. And if you really believe, like, oh my gosh, you're a fucking badass, because you are, right? Everyone's going to want to make out with you. Like, you got to know that. Like, just go into the world, like, thinking that, like, all guys want to hook up with you. Like, just start thinking that way. Okay. I'm so serious. It's not cocky. It's just like saying, it's just what it is. If you just, like, honestly today, go out in the world, right? And in your head, just say, oh my gosh, I'm so lovable. I'm so beautiful. And yeah, everybody wants to, like, all the guys, single guys, obviously, right? Whatever. Anybody that I'm talking to, they would happily make out with me, right? But you are not going to just go ahead and do that. You are going to say, I know what I want, and I'm going to talk to this person. I'm not going to make out with them. So if Victoria could do it again, I would have loved to been like her love coach and been like, okay, Victoria, slow your ass down. You don't need to make out with him. You really don't. And so she wouldn't have been confused. And then she would have had a conversation with Johnny, and Johnny said, oh no, I'm like, don't want to do anything serious. It's for fun. And then she would have said, bye. And then she would have talked to Alex. Oh my God, you guys, if you see the show, Alex is amazing. And she's like, oh my God, Alex is everything I've wanted in someone. That's what she says. Alex meets everything on her checklist. He's exactly where she wants. Like, he is driven. He has his career. He's older. So he's like 33 and she's like 30. And like, he's ready to, get married and have kids and do the whole family thing. Like, all these things are lining up, and just like his core values and his family and all that stuff, right? She's thrilled. And then what does she do? But she didn't kiss Alex. She didn't kiss him yet. They just talk. Then she goes back and talks to Johnny. Johnny doesn't like her checklist and says love comes first and then we'll figure everything out. She makes out with Johnny and she chooses Johnny. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm just like, what is that? And you know what? I can't like be so harsh with her because I literally did that for years, right? So I was actually like, this is amazing. I really hope that you guys can, first of all, I really think you should watch it. I love Bachelor in Paradise. It's so fun and it's hysterical, but it really puts it, like all the mistakes that we have done and probably keep doing, right in your face. Everyone's making out with everybody. Like, seriously, everyone's making out. Everybody is like, who do I like? What's happening? How can you know who you like when you're too busy making out and you're not even talking? Like, this is like, everyone needs to slow their asses down. You know, I know I sound like maybe some kind of like old school, like prude nun or something, but I'm really not. Like, I feel like I'm really not. I just feel like we have taken away the significance of a freaking like kiss and holding hands and like cuddling and napping. Like, those things are important, right? But do that shit with someone that you actually had a real conversation with. Do you see what I mean? Like, this is so important. So watch the freaking episode. You're going to see Victoria and her mistakes. The show hasn't even finished yet. Like, it's like, I think like 2 or 3 more episodes before the season finale. And I really feel like I don't know what's going to happen. Like, Victoria and Johnny are still dating. And someone can propose by the end of this. I will, like, if Johnny at the end of this proposes to Victoria, like, oh my gosh, I need to see this happen. But I am betting what's going to happen is that Victoria is going to end up alone, right? Johnny's not going to step up to the plate and want to get married because he said it. He's not there yet. Or he's not there, period. That's not what he wants right now in his life, right? He has like to do a lot of self-work, okay? But Victoria, poor thing, is so ready to move forward. So my guess is that at the end of the season, right, poor thing is going to be back at square one. Have you ever done that? Where you're like, oh my gosh, I invested so much time, my heart with someone, and for what? Now I'm back at square one. So what I love about the show is that you're going to see it and you're going to be like, Victoria, run, say bye-bye, what's going on? And she doesn't, okay? And you can learn from her mistakes. You can learn from my mistakes. Like, I hope this is resonating with you. I hope that you go off into the world today. You have your list. You talk to people. You're not just making out with anybody and everybody. Don't waste your time. Your time is so valuable. Okay. And if someone says, oh no, I don't like that question. Oh, I don't like those check boxes. They're not just standards, by the way. You have some standards. Obviously, you want someone to be respectful, polite, whatever. But it's having a clear vision of what you want in your life, and you want to have a partner that has the same freaking goals and values. So like a guy that has a problem with that, fuck him. Do you see what I mean? Like, Johnny is just insecure. That's a huge one. That's a huge point to say, okay? Guy is nice, but he's kind of a boy. He's like, okay, he's insecure because he's not where he probably wants to be in his life, emotionally, whatever else. And he's not feeling secure in himself. So when you mention a checklist, he's like, I don't like that. What? And this is what I want the world to start getting comfortable with. A freaking woman knowing what she wants, what she deserves, what she is worth. And a guy that has a problem with that, you could easily say bye-bye. And there's going to be a line of other guys that are going to want to hang out with you and talk to you. Okay. And I promise you, there's going to be a guy that will not have a problem with you saying, hey, these are things that are important to me. How about you? And he is going to be in his life exactly aligned. Oh my God, these are like keywords. Aligned. Because I just know this exists for you. But you'll never find him if you're busy making out with the Johnnies in the world. You know what I mean? Now I kind of feel bad for Johnny. But poor Johnny. Johnny's actually a really nice guy. But yeah, you know what I mean. The guy that's like super nice and he's so cute, but he's just not, no. Bye-bye. I really want to know if this show is resonating with you, if it is inspiring you. Leave a 5-star review. Like, tell me, and the more that you really let us know, let me know, and let the world know, this is a community of freaking women, that all of us know we're not alone, that we all deserve crazy love, a love where you can be completely real and authentically, zenfully you. And I feel like more women need to hear this message. We don't hear it enough. We really don't. So thank you so much. I absolutely appreciate you for listening, for being here. Thank you. I will see you next time. Remember, it has to be crazy love or nothing.